Hey there, welcome back to the final part of this week's episode of Leading Our Own Way. I hope you found inspiration in our guest journey this week. Today, we'll leave you with some key takeaways and actionable insights that you can lean on. Now let's wrap up with some powerful lessons that can help guide you on your own path. Don't forget to tune in for a brand new guest next week on Monday. But for now, enjoy this week's. Please subscribe to the channel if you don't already as well. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. So that small, simple step towards the beginning, the very beginning of your recovery was those snippets of spring, that weather changing, that sun being out, having that little
and
get outside time.
I had one day, it must have been in May, I was at Andrea's place of rest, and where she is located is the very last row, and then behind her is a grassy area, and then just a bunch of sumac trees. And this one time I was completely wanting to be 6 feet under with Andrea. I was laying on the grass and I was not even knowing, just completely gone with her. And I was startled by a tap on the shoulder, and it was this woman who cared for the cemetery. And she talked to me and, wanted to know my story. And then she said, the perimeter of the cemetery has some gardens, and she cares for these gardens. And she said, you can have a garden for Andrea. And I said, oh, really? And so she said, yeah, you just see those trees there, you just dig them up and, like, oh, okay. Anyway, so that summer, a month later, June, July, my husband went up, and my ex at that time, and they dug all the rocks and the sand and started a garden. And it started out, small at first, like small meaning like 5 feet wide and 5 by 5 or something like that. And then the next year it just grew and grew. And then the next year my husband did interlocking brick, and then we did another section, and then we did another section, and there's a 3-foot angel there. And that woman was, she doesn't realize what she did, but she is a major part of my journey of healing, because now spring and summer, that's what keeps me going. We plant 150 tulips up there, and in the spring, in the fall, and then in the spring, I go up there and I'm just anxious to see the color and the beauty. And we took Andrea's rocks that she collected from when she built her house, and it became a real labor of love, because those huge rocks were in our driveway, and the grandkids, my husband pressure washed them, and the grandkids pressure washed all these rocks, and they went to the store and they got all this preservative, and the kids helped to put all this stuff on for Auntie. And so she got a rock garden.
Love it.
That has been a therapeutic thing for me in my journey as well.
It sounds like one of your biggest points of recovery.
Sorry?
Yeah. It sounds like one of the biggest pivotal moments for you.
Absolutely. To this day, it's what keeps me going.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Before we, I do have a few other things before we come to the end. Let's share a picture. People will be able to see this fully all through the filming if they're watching on Spotify, but here's Andrea and yourself. And talk about this little man. Is this Tristan?
That is under the Christmas tree. And it is Tristan's second Christmas, and we were pretty happy. Happy memories.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'll just put that back. Hold on. With that in mind there, at the time of the accident, she was also, I think you briefly mentioned earlier, she was pregnant, wasn't she?
She was pregnant with her second baby. Mm-hmm.
How far was she into that?
3 months. I was supposed to go with her on my birthday, December 28th, and, see the ultrasound. And that didn't happen. But I know that she had a girl. I had a vision.
How did you?
I didn't really believe in things like that, but I firmly believe, and it wasn't a dream, it was a vision. It was probably the accident was December 20th, and this was on the 23rd, maybe after we did, the funeral and everything. And I was at home in bed, and I was just completely, of course, crying endlessly. And I was in the bed, and I wasn't sleep. I was crying. And I suddenly, for some reason, I suddenly stopped, like, just like that. I mean, how do you do that in that moment, right? Something made me just stop. And I opened my eyes and I looked. And what I saw was Andrea standing there in a field. It was not detailed. She was standing in a field with a long white gown, holding the hand of a little girl with dark curly hair, about maybe 3, enough to walk. And they were just holding hands. And the wind was blowing, and it was blowing their dresses, and the little girl had the white dress on, and the wind was blowing their white dresses, and it was just flowing in the breeze. And they were standing in a field of green grass. And I'm telling you, I like art and colors, and I have never, ever seen green like this green. It was green that was indescribable, and the grass was perfect. And then the blue sky, and the sky was unlike any sky you've ever seen. And I looked, and I was just in awe. And then they were gone.
Did you get some peace from that?
I did. She came and she told me that, Mama, we're okay. And you've got your granddaughter, and she's in heaven. And some people might think I'm crazy. A lot of people don't believe it, but I didn't imagine it, because even to this moment, I remember the blades of grass, the details. And I remember that. And I don't think I was crazy. I mean, I was deep in grief, but why would I stop crying to see that? Like, just boom. Right? I believe that she came, and she just wanted me to know that she was okay.
First of all, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It matters it matters what you felt and saw and acknowledged. And if you can take a million things away from that to help you, fantastic. I did the same. My gran brought me up, and at 16 years old, she passed during a difficult time of my education system in England, exam time, leaving high school exams, and she died on the Sunday night, and the next day was an exam that I had to sit, and I remember doing it the next day. I don't even know how I got through it. And she, at 22, I always said to her, please come back and see me, but just do it in a non-scary way. I'd joke with her and say, just don't scare me. And and I remember being in bed, and I was asleep, and I woke up, and I'd been in a cave with her. You can say it was in a dream, and it probably was, but it honestly felt like I was actually in the cave with her, and there was a bit of water in between us, and she was sat with me, and she was just talking to me and asking how my mum was, and because I live with my mum and my gran, and I don't know, I just got so much peace from that. Obviously, I wasn't in a cave, I was in my bed, but I felt so real. And I did a reading not long ago with a guest that it'll be published by the time this gets published, but it's not published yet. And she said there's symbolism and there's meaning behind that cave. And usually when that happens, it's real, and it's how they've connected with you from the other side. And the cave is symbolism.
I believe it completely.
I do. So when you said it, I totally believe it.
Yeah, a lot of people have had those experiences and believe it, right? And my husband had an experience. He was on course with the military when his grandmother died, and she came to him where he was. He couldn't go to the funeral, and he'll tell the story and tell you how she came to him and told him it was okay. And so he totally believes what I say, right? And he believes that Andrea is with us anyway, all the time, right?
Absolutely.
But it is comforting, and it's peace. It gave me peace at that moment. I mean, of course, it didn't last. right? But it gives me peace now to talk about it because I
Absolutely.
know it was real,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Mhm.
So they were the days for you. A little. We've spoken about you, but obviously you still have Tristan in your life. And at that moment in time, he was 2, and the partner, the husband. How did that go for? How did the picture paint for you? You know, spending time with Tristan, you were able to see your
And
grandson.
oh yeah, we saw him, but like I said, we had to end up taking him to court.
Okay.
But then once it was all settled and
Yeah.
resolved, and we started our visitations, um, and you know, we tried to establish a relationship with them, with his father and his now new wife. And she has 3 other. Tristan has siblings. He's got 2 brothers and a sister. And as the children came along, we tried to just bring them into our life.
Mhm.
But things are okay.
I remember you talking in the pre-chat that the first 3 years after the accident were particular hard. What do you think was the first sign to yourself that you want to make this about you, your life purpose, to make a change, whether it's sending a message, whether it's through the phones like you mentioned before, or writing the book? Where was that pivotal point? If you could put a pin on a moment in time, what was that pivotal point for you to go, all right, I'm getting up today and I'm making a change?
Making a change to write a book, you mean?
Well, whether it's to write a book, I think there's even steps before writing the book. You don't just go, right, I'm going to write a book today. What was the pivotal point for that change of mindset to make a difference in your own life, for you to as you say, choose to live?
I think, I don't know, I can't say where there was a particular moment where I can say it was, a particular time where it was a pivotal moment that I'm gonna, the biggest one for me was that day when I disappeared. That was
Sure.
my pivotal moment that I'm going to live life, and I'm
Yeah.
going to live it for Andrea and for Tristan. And then the day that I came home and said I was going to write my book, that was, like I had said it many times before, that was the moment when I was going to look at my life in a different way, and I was going to tell my story. And that day I came home, I guess, would be that pivotal moment where it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I made it
absolutely.
happen from there.
So if there was anything that you think we've missed from our discussion today, and you think it's super important, that you just feel heavy on your chest and you wanted to share, what do you think that would be?
Well, I've kind of developed my own little motto.
Mm-hmm.
And I would start by saying the first part is embrace the moments. I'd like to tell people, embrace the moments. Whatever those moments look like for you, whether it means you've stopped crying and you can actually breathe better for those few minutes, embrace those moments because that's life seeping in. Or whether it means you opened your door, you got strength to walk through your house and opened your door and looked at the sun and looked at the sky. you know Embrace those moments. For me, that's what I do. I embrace the moments of life. I get teased because I take so many pictures, and I take pictures of everything because it's the moment in time. And when I'm walking, if I see weeds that have beautiful little flowers when we're camping, I take pictures of them. And my husband says, that's a weed, eh? And I'll say, I know, but isn't it gorgeous? So embrace those moments and then cherish the memories, because those memories are moments that you had with that special person, or moments in time that are beautiful for you. And so embrace the moments, cherish the memories, and then make more memories.
Yeah.
Make more memories, because that is so important. That's what life is all about, right? At the end of the day, it's yesterday's gone. Today's our only little piece of time. Tomorrow's
Mm.
not here yet. And by doing all that, you're creating hope for tomorrow.
Yes, I mean, I was going to ask you what piece of advice would you give, and I think you just nailed it with that section. So yeah, that's stunning, beautiful, and it makes me want to, because I'm planning on taking my children later, and it makes me want to just be more present. And even if I'm thinking about getting the phone out, and I don't mean to take photos, but to check on social media or whatever it may be, is to maybe not do that.
Living in the moment of life that you have and appreciating it and valuing it, because life is a gift.
Yeah. What how I normally end the episode is, and it's very crystal clear. No, actually, before I go there, your future plans. What are your future plans, Linda, going forward?
I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to fight this grief and be the winner as I am, be in control of it. I'm living my life to the fullest, and I'm living the best version of me possible. And with that, I'm reaching out to other people, and helping is healing. So I help people, they heal better, and I heal better.
Great, beautifully said, and I know how difficult time of year this is for you coming to this, but this is not for me to give you advice. I think you just need to listen to yourself.
Need to, yeah. What is it? Put your own words into practice, right?
Yeah, and I know that's easier said than done, because I'm not going through what you're going through. But please listen to your beautiful words, because I know this is a difficult time of year, and as you mentioned, enjoy, because the children, obviously your grandchildren and your other daughter, they'll still be, they'll be embracing this time because of their children opening presents. So please take every moment with them during this time as well.
I love with a passion. I love, it's on this, you can see my love. I love deeply. And grief has taught me that. I always have loved. But again, it's taught me so many things to value life. And I love in a deeper way now than I've ever loved. So I do. And I have to remind myself to embrace those moments. You're right.
Of course. It's pretty crystal clear what your purpose is, but I always ask the guests to kind of sum it up in a simple sentence, and I feel like you've got it. But Linda, what is your purpose in life now?
My purpose, I think I've said it, is to continue loving my family, living my life the best that I can, and creating the legacy for Andrea and honoring her. I honor her in every day, everything I do.
Yeah.
And I have to do that for her.
Beautiful, Linda. I don't know what else to say. I've never done an episode like this before, so I really appreciate you being vulnerable. I hope you felt safe during our conversation. I know it's been difficult, and I didn't want to prod too much into everything, but I've never done an episode like this before. So thank you for being so raw, and I know you've done it before, but I hope you've enjoyed having a chat, and I hope it's been therapeutic, and I know for sure that there's so many people who are going to listen to this and be able to take gems away from them and implement into their own life, however small or big that can be, and how it might and it doesn't necessarily mean they've lost somebody through an accident. It could be anything, couldn't it? Any loss, any other types of loss.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time. Thank you for reaching out. I don't know how you found me, but I'm so glad you did.
I can't remember.
No, I can't. I know it's quite a while ago. and thank you for letting me reschedule as well, because for everyone who's listening, my son had a basketball tournament, and having to communicate from Australia to the East Coast of America or the West Coast is actually quite hard. So I try and do all of these on the weekend for my time, so I can get you guys in, because of the time it's either 19 or 16 hours different, so it's very, very hard. So thank you for being so open to rescheduling, and I don't like to do that, but thank you so much.
No problem. Again, it's embrace those moments those moments with your son, those games, every
Yeah.
precious moment, and take lots of pictures.
Yeah, we did. Well, I get so stuck into the game, so I actually don't take pictures very often because I get so stuck in. I'm so passionate and running up and down, and and
Oh, yeah,
supporting him,
yeah.
and
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, I don't want to miss a game, and I have you always in my thoughts when I think about not missing my son's game. You and a lot of other people as well, and I try and bring each of you guys as guests into my own life, and it's like a bit of a diary, to incorporate into my own life to try and be the best that I can be, whether it's to my family or to myself as well, because I wasn't kind to myself a few years ago, and I was in a dark space, a very, very dark space, and this is why I keep learning from people like yourself. So thank you for joining me on my journey. Thank you for joining on Leading Our Own Way, because you are leading your own way, Linda. Never forget that. And anytime you want to chat or the other way around, please stay in touch. And you're my friend
Thank
now,
you.
whether you like it or not.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Again, your understanding is invaluable to me. It's
Of
very
course.
special. Thank you.
No, thank you. To everybody else, I hope you've can take something away from this. I know you can, I don't hope. And from Linda and myself, it's a big goodbye and a big thank you, but please join us next week on Leading Our Own Way. Take care for now and have a great week, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for listening and watching Leading Our Own Way. So we can stay together forever and share more incredible journeys, please subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss next week's episode and what that amazing guest has to offer to the world. Please support Leading Our Own Way, and we'll get you on next week's episode.